Hey guys, so amazing scene right here. We got some Swinub, we've got Sneasel. I think those are supposed to be Piloswine, but Piloswine are only like 3 feet tall, so that more looks like Mamoswine. But you know, it's AI, so. But I mean, Piloswine, I can imagine them looking like the colors are the same, and but yeah. So we reacted to the first 151 Pokemon, made in AI on this channel, and they let out this other one with the Johto ones, which I love Johto. The game's kind of influenced like what we see in later games with the day and night and the like the Pokenav kind of thing where you have different stuff like that, colored sprites, moving sprites. So it was a good time to be a Pokemon fan. And the anime was pretty cool. Apart from the, here's the GS ball, just completely forget about it. He's like gives it to Kurt and we never see it again because it was supposed to be with Celebi and we got Pokemon Forever, and so it's like, okay, well, we might as well cut that part of the story. So now it's just resting with Kurt for the rest of his life. And then when Kurt dies, someone else will inherit it, I guess. But anyway, this is Johto region. So it has like a narrator, like a David Attenborough, but then like the last one, it like had the voice, but then suddenly it started sounding like just a generic voice. And then at the end, it started sounding like David Attenborough again, but whatever. It's AI. Can't expect much. But the way the Pokemon did look nice. And apart from some of them, like Jinx looking absolutely terrifying, they looked like, oh, hey, these could possibly exist in our world. But without further ado, let's get into it.
From the peaks of Mount Silver to the forgotten ruins of Alf, Johto breathes with life. Today, we discover its Pokemon, one by one. Chikorita walks gently through the tall grass, sensing the air with its leaf. Bayleaf releases a warm, spicy aroma that energizes those around it. Meganium radiates a soothing aura wherever it steps. Nature briefly blooms brighter. Cyndaquil
Oh, my boy. Oh, my little boy, Cyndaquil. When I first got gold, that's when I got gold. That's who I started with. I started off with Cyndaquil. It's a sweet little baby. I love Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil flares its flames when startled. Its small body stores a surprisingly intense heat. Quilava controls its flames with precision. It moves gracefully through the hot winds it creates. Typhlosion's heat distorts the air around it. When enraged, it erupts like a living volcano. Totodile bites anything playfully, unaware of its strength. Croconaw waits patiently underwater. Its jaws can crush stone with ease. Feraligatr dominates swamps with raw power. Its charging speed can catch anyone off guard. Sentret stands tall on its tail to keep watch. Furret slips through the grass like a ribbon of wind. Its long body lets it escape through tiny gaps. Hoot Hoot keeps perfect rhythm, shifting its weight every second. Villagers trust its timing more than clocks. Noctowl flies without a sound. Its sharp eyes see clearly through even the darkest nights. Ladybug communicates through gentle pheromones. It feels safest when surrounded by its group. Ledian glows softly under starlight. The more light it absorbs, the stronger its punches become. Spinarak reads vibrations on its web like text. It can identify prey from a single tremor. Ariados stalks silently through the night. Its threads are stronger than steel and placed with precision. Crobat darts through the sky at incredible speed. Chinchou lights the deep sea with its antennae. The brightness of its glow reflects its mood. Lantern is known as the ocean star. It guides lost Pokémon with its gentle underwater light. Pichu releases sparks without meaning to. Its tiny body struggles to hold all that electricity. Cleffa appears on nights filled with shooting stars. It dances as if following a celestial rhythm. Igglybuff bounces softly wherever it goes. Its sweet voice carries farther than expected. Togepi carries happiness inside its shell. It warms.
No, Togepi. That was such a great thing with, that episode that started all of that with when Ash and, the crew go to the canyon and with the whole thing with Aerodactyl and he wakes up and there's the egg as he's sleeping, it just kind of rolls to him. And then when it finally hatches, who gets to keep Togepi, and we get even Meowth wants to keep Togepi, and we see that Meowth went through like what a mother would, keeping the egg warm and putting hot water on it and stuff like that, sleeping with close to it at night and just being like a parent. And just like the heartbreak Meowth had when he had to say goodbye to Togepi, it was like, oh my god, that was a great few episodes, each thing. But Togepi is so sweet, it really is. And then it's just that moment when Togepi finally evolved and, Misty said goodbye to it. I was like, oh god. Oh god. I was like, why are you doing this to me, Pokemon? Why are you doing this to me? As if watching every one of Ash's Pokemon just, like Butterfree and all that wasn't hard enough. But no, then we have to say goodbye to Togepi and
anyone who holds it. Togetic floats gently near kind-hearted people. Its presence feels like a soft blessing. Natu hops in place while...
All right, let's say it. Natu, how do you do? I love Natu. Such a simple design, but it's adorable.
Staring at distant points. It seems to see far more than we can. Xatu stands motionless from sunrise to sunset. Many believe it sees both past and future. Mareep's wool builds static as it moves. A whole flock can light an entire farm. Flaffy controls its static energy with surprising skill. Its wool is warm but shockingly powerful. Ampharos acts as a living lighthouse. Its tail can guide travelers from miles away. Bellossom dances joyfully under the sun. Its petals release a light tropical scent. Marill uses its buoyant tail as a float. It senses danger through vibrations in the water. Azumarill creates bubble nests along riverbanks. Its hearing underwater is incredibly sharp. Sudowoodo freezes in place to mimic a tree. Politoad's call signals the start of the rainy season. Whole swamps answer with their own croaks. Hoppip drifts wherever the wind carries it. Groups float together like pink dandelions. Skiploom rises higher when the sun is strong. Its petals open wide to absorb light. Jumpluff rides distant air currents across regions. Apom uses its tail like a skilled hand. It steals fruit with playful precision. Sunkern survives on minimal nutrients. It barely moves to save energy. Sunflora thrives in bright sunlight. Its cheerful dance marks the arrival of warm days. Yanma's wings beat fast enough to create shockwaves. It tracks prey with unmatched agility. Whooper wanders through swamps with a cheerful grin. Quagsire drifts lazily through the water. It bumps into things without caring. Espion senses tiny shifts in the air. It predicts danger moments before it appears. Umbreon's rings glow softly in the moonlight. It moves silently through the night.
Murkrow. But Umbreon and Espeon, the depending on what time of day, it would either evolve into an Espeon or Umbreon. I think I had both gold and silver. My brother had silver, but he really didn't play it a whole lot. So once I finished gold, I went back and I started on silver. And so I was like, okay, well, on this one I have this, so this one I'll get that. I think the first time around, I think I got Umbreon. So in silver, I was like, okay, well, get an Espeon. And then I think I transferred like all the Pokemon I got from silver to gold. But then once I got Crystal, I transferred all those Pokemon to Crystal, so you know. But I love Espeon. I love all the evolutions. But just, the fact that instead of worrying about stone, it's basically like, okay, you reach this certain level and then whatever time of day, you get that. Then you started getting like stuff like Glaceon and Leafeon, where it's like, oh, bring it to this mossy rock. This level, or this big old icy rock or whatever. But I Umbreon is one of my favorites.
Murkrow steals anything that shines. It remembers grudges for years. Slowking gains insight from the poison of its crown. It speaks calmly, as if always deep in thought. Misdreavus floats through old ruins, feeding on fear. Unknown drifts silently through ancient chambers. Their shapes resemble letters from a forgotten language. Wobbuffet stands still in the shadows, waiting patiently to counter any threat. Girafarig wanders calmly, its tail face watching even when it doesn't. Pineco hangs quietly from branches, ready to explode if disturbed. Forretress clamps shut with a metallic snap, guarding what lies inside. Dunsparce burrows slowly.
All hail the true king of the world, the true one god, Dunsparce, the one true creator. It's usually between this and Bidoof, but there's always competition between people as to who the true god of the world is. Most people, they don't believe Arceus is a true god of the world. No, it's either Dunsparce or Bidoof. I mean, Bidoof looks more angelic. It's got the wings and, the kind of like a goldish yellow and the blue. Very angelic looking colors. But then you have Bidoof. I don't know. Some say that this is the true god.
Leaving long, winding tunnels behind. Gligar glides between cliffs, scouting with sharp claws. Steelix rumbles underground, its iron body grinding through stone. Snubble growls bravely, trying to look tougher than it is.
Snub! Snubble! Snub, snub, snubble! That is terrifying. Like, they just slapped a dog's face. It's just so... This is what I mean. It's like AI. It's great. But then it gives you some stuff like this.
Granbull stands firm, its massive jaws showing real.
Okay, that looks like in the Scooby-Doo movie at the very end with Scrappy when he starts like bulking up and transforming. That's what it reminds me of. Scrappy Doo.
Strength. Quillfish inflates fast, firing toxic barbs at anything too close. Scizor moves in a blur, its steel claws slicing clean through the air. Shuckle hides in its shell, quietly fermenting berries inside. Heracross charges headfirst, powered by raw determination. Sneasel prowls icy cliffs, its claws sharp in the frozen wind. Teddiursa licks honey from its paws with innocent delight. Ursaring stomps through forests, carving trees to mark its territory. Slugma crawls slowly, dripping molten magma with every move. Magcargo crackles with heat, its shell burning hotter than lava. Swinub sniffs snowdrifts, searching for food beneath the ice. Piloswine pushes through blizzards, its thick fur shielding the cold. Corsola brightens coral reefs, swaying gently with the tide. Remoraid shoots precise water jets, clinging beneath Mantine. Octillery blasts.
That's what that's that's what Octillery sounds like. They're like. Also, if you've ever seen Octillery's original form, like original design, it was basically a tank. You know, it was made to look like it was, he had like a helmet on, but then its body, you know, its tentacles kind of, you know, moved around like a tank's wheels. I mean, it looked cool, but I'm glad they went this way with Octillery. I mean, Octillery really is cool. And while yes, the whole tank version of it looked pretty cool, sometimes simplistic is better. But just avoid
Ink with perfect aim, defending its territory. Delibird waddles through snow, delivering gifts from its bundle. Mantine glides like a kite, cutting smoothly across calm seas. Skarmory's steel wings slice the sky with piercing screeches. Houndour hunts in packs, coordinating with sharp barks and fire. Houndoom's flames burn fiercely, said to scar the soul itself. Kingdra rules deep waters, creating whirlpools when angered. Phanpy plays joyfully, splashing water with its tiny trunk. Donphan curls into a ball and charges with crushing force.
You guys remember when you first saw the Pokemon movie and Donphan came out? What? And then they just kind of slowly dripped. I mean, it wasn't that unusual. Pikachu's Vacation, we had Snubbull, we had Meryl, who are also from second generation. We had Donphan, who is also second generation. Togepi, second generation. But that moment where the movie starts with the Ash between the battle between Ash and the other guy, and it's Donphan. It's like, holy shit! That was probably one of the coolest moments in a Pokemon movie. Because I really don't think they really continued that trend, showing like a next gen Pokemon. I mean, hell, the first episode ever, we get fucking Ho-Oh. You know, but that moment, he throws the fucking Pokeball, Donphan comes out, was like, what the fuck is that? It was just so amazing as a kid seeing a next-gen Pokemon in the Pokemon movie. Along with, like, you know, like I said, Meryl and Snubbull in the very beginning with Pikachu's Vacation. Schnob! But yeah, that moment, Donphan came out, oh, it was so amazing.
Porygon 2 moves flawlessly, perfectly adapted to digital space. Stantler's antlers shimmer mysteriously, bending space around them. Smeargle paints its world, leaving art wherever it goes. Tyrogue trains constantly, shaping its evolution through effort. Hitmontop spins at high speed, striking with perfect balance. Smoochum learns through curiosity, kissing everything it finds. Elekid spins its arms to charge, buzzing with bright energy. Magby breathes tiny embers, warming itself by molten rock. Miltank grazes peacefully, producing milk treasured everywhere. Blissey radiates warmth, soothing and healing those nearby. Raikou races like thunder, each step sparking the earth. Entei roars with
My boy Entei. So with the last one, I said how Articuno was my favorite of that trio, just because of how elegant they are. But no, for this one, when it comes to this trio, I love Entei. Suicune would be the more majestic one, an elegant one, but Entei, he's just so badass. You know, the fact that we got him in the movie and he was voiced by Dan Green. You know, like he's like this protector, and I mean, he's just this really cool Pokemon. The fact that, you know, it's like, oh yeah, when he roars, fucking volcanoes erupt. I mean, how fucking badass is that? Now it just says volcanoes. It doesn't say how many volcanoes. But this dude, if what the Pokedex says is true, this dude is capable of just destroying the planet with simply roaring. Because if his roars cause volcanoes to erupt, then surely it'd be like a domino effect. And suddenly, you know, but I love Entei. He's my favorite of this trio. He's just so cool. He's just so cool.
with volcanic force, shaking the land beneath. Suicune purifies water with every graceful step. Larvitar eats mountain stone, growing stronger underground. Pupitar rockets wildly, storing energy for evolution. Tyranitar reshapes mountains, feared for its overwhelming power.
Godzilla! Godzilla! I love, same thing, I love Tyranitar, and I love the fact that they add, like, all this battle damage, like, all these just deep cuts and, you know, red wounds and all that. It's just, you know, it gives you more of a sense of what you would see if Pokemon were real, because they're not going to all be pristine and perfectly flawless. No, they're going to have battle damage. They're going to be missing eyes. They're going to be cut up, and, you know, so the fact that they kind of add, you know, all these dents and marks and cuts, and, you know, it gives you the idea, like, this one's been through a lot of shit. But when it comes to, like, those wow, hand just spazzed out there, like the pseudo legendaries, usually they're like dragon types or stuff like this, where they just, you look at them, you're like, no, this has got to be a legendary. This has got to be a legendary. The thing looks like fucking Godzilla, but it turns out it's not a legendary. Like Arcanine. Arcanine originally was a legendary, hence why during that call with Professor Oak, there was the the mural, and it had the trio, and it had Arcanine, because originally it was going to be a legendary. But yeah, this, like this, and then you know, there's a few others that people think of. It's like, why aren't they legendaries? You know, Drampa the Grandpa, he looks like he could be a legendary, but no. What's the one from Sun and Moon? Not Jagamo. What's the final evolution? I can't even remember. I haven't played that game in a while. But yeah, that same thing. It's like a dragon type. You'd think it'd be a legendary, but it's not. Sometimes the ones that look like legendaries aren't, and the ones who don't look like they should be legendaries are. Go figure. But yeah, I love Tyranitar. He's such a cool Pokemon.
Lugia stirs storms with a single flap, hiding deep beneath the waves. Ho-Oh soars high, leaving glowing feathers drifting behind. Celebi drifts through time, appearing wherever nature needs protection. Our journey through Johto comes to an end, but our adventure isn't over. Hoenn awaits, vibrant, wild, and full of new Pokemon.
So that Lugia, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, Lugia is a bird, I think. Like, it's supposed to be a bird, but we always see Lugia with like his wings, or their wings have like giant fingers. So I don't, if this was, you know, obviously meant to be real life, I don't think they would have giant fingers, most likely. It would be something more akin to this, but it's just, I don't know how I feel about this. I, I don't know how I feel about it. Ho-Oh looks amazing. He just, you know, he looks very like people would think of like Aztec and stuff like that, like the colors, you know, South American colors, you know, with the gold, the red, the blue, stuff like that. But he's always, Ho-Oh has always been such an amazing Pokemon. We see it the first episode. Um, but the fact that Ho-Oh, if I recall, has never actually gotten their own movie or anything, or even an episode. We see it, but it's never something that has had a movie based around it. Not, you know, like Lugia. You know, Lugia is important, yeah, but Ho-Oh, you know, we get glimpses of it, and um what was it? The one Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. You know, you see Mew transform into a Ho-Oh, but I don't think we've ever gotten a legitimate just Ho-Oh movie where it's just based around them. And it's a shame because he's really powerful. Like, he's more powerful than people give him credit for. But, and then we got Celebi, those creepy hands. I mean, apart from the hand, Celebi looks great. A little onion head. Yeah, that movie, God, that the ending portion with Celebi kind of giving their life, and then all the Celebi from like the past, present, future joining, you know, coming in and kind of restoring their life. That was, not to mention that, you know, the entire time the movie, you know, it's hammering in like, hey, who's this kid Sammy? Who's this kid Sammy? And then when they finally reveal it, while yes, you kind of already know who it is, it's like it still hits hard because, you know, you think about, you know, Ash and, you know, the person's relationship, and it hits hard because they're like, wow, they've, you know, they didn't even know it, but they've known each other for a long time. Um, but yeah, that was a great movie. This was the movie, you know, where Celebi, Pokemon Forever, that they were going to originally have Celebi in the show, you know, hence the GS ball, but instead they decided to make it into a movie, and they were like, okay, well, since we're making Celebi into a movie, can't exactly have Celebi in the show, which is kind of stupid because yes, you can. Mewtwo was in the show. Well, I mean, technically, it was a bit of the same scene that we saw in the movie was also in the show. If you remember when Team Rocket goes back to the you know, the headquarters, it shows the scene of Mewtwo going, you know, into the sky after kind of, you know, confronts Giovanni, you know, and when they get there, Giovanni's on the ground. He's like, that thing. But you see it shooting into the sky and the armor and all that. So they could have easily done something with Celebi. The fact that they didn't, they did it in Pokemon Chronicle. It was a Pokemon Chronicles. That was, oh my god, how long ago was that I watched that? I can't even remember what the episode is about. It was, okay, it was it had to do with Celebi, and I think it was like Nurse Joy or something. I can't remember, but I think it might have been Nurse Joy that it was focused around. But they could have easily done a Celebi episode. Series of episodes. Um, but nope. Nope. Now the GS ball is just kind of with Kurt forever, collecting dust. Celebi's never getting out of there, are they? But yeah, as I was saying with the some of them look spot on. Ampharos, I love Ampharos. Some of them look spot on. Some of them, obviously, because of AI, like these tiny little legs. Like I don't even does Sunkern even have legs? I think they just kind of hop around. But like Wooper, this is just so creepy. But then you see stuff like this, like Espeon looks amazing. Umbreon looks amazing. Mineco looks exactly the way they should. Dunsparce. Now this one, like I don't know how I feel about this one. I don't know how this is like taking such a major, creative liberty here. I mean, he looks cool, but it looks more akin to a Digimon than a Pokemon. This is just absolutely fucking terrifying. I would not want this fucking thing around me. I love animals, but this thing would beat me. Like, I feel like it would want to beat me up for my fucking lunch money. It's just, I'm not having this as a Pokemon. It's like Beerus, except for the fact that this is a dog. But he just looks like he's about to fucking grab your neck, and he's just like, okay. We have stuff like this, where like, why is the shell moving like that? Why does it, it's. But other than that, it just, Teddy Ursa looks amazing. This looks amazing. Macargo and Macargo. Slugma, Macargo. I mean, that looks great, except the fact that he's only supposed to be like 3 feet tall, apparently. Remoraid. Houndoom and Houndour. Absolutely amazing. Smeargle. I love Smeargle. The fact that he fucking paints with his tail, and just, it's such a cool Pokemon. And apparently, I think the only place you can find Smeargle is around the ruins of Alph. In a very specific patch of grass that you kind of gotta go to. Hitmontop, that's just terrifying. Elekid looks great. Magby. Oh. Frickin' Whitney. Miltank uses rollout. Well, congratulations. You're not fucking winning now. You're not. just take the loss, level up a little more, and then come back. It's not even worth it at this point. Oh god, Whitney was everyone's nightmare. Once that thing uses rollout, there's no hope. No fucking hope. The trio looks amazing. Suicune, Raikou, and Entei. Ladybug and Lady N. Spinarak. This is what I mean. It's like, it looks very much like it could very well exist in this world. And that's what I love about AI. Not the stupid shit that they try doing, but this, taking things that can't exist in this world, but it being done in a way that makes you think like, maybe it could. Maybe our world would be a little less boring if we had creatures like this living in it. Obviously the shadowing and the lighting really, really helps get, the authenticity of it. Netu, how do you do? Mareep. It like just how it looks like it's just a gem. Just seeing all the different kind of textures on it. He's like wool right there, and then on its face it's got like this very, very fine fur, but then back here it's more metallic-y looking with this beautiful gem. Then you get the flare-ups of the electricity. Ampharos. Again, I love Ampharos. Jasmine. Jasmine. No, Blossom and like stuff like that though, like Blossom and the creepy little legs. But other than that, pseudo water. All three of those looked great. Apom, Quagsire. But this is when I think of AI and how it should be used, bringing the impossible to life. Not all AI is bad. And if they're going to be doing Hoenn, I cannot wait to see how it interprets Groudon and Kyogre, Rayquaza, the Reggies. But yeah. Yeah. But anyway, let me know what you thought of Johto, the gold, silver, crystal. And who was your favorite of the trio and why was it Entei? No, but yeah, any memories you have of gold and silver. Anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.